Today we are going to study the pathoanatomy of the congenital talipes equinovirus. So this equinus means walking like a horse. So if this is the tibia, this is the talus, this is the calcaneum, here is the navicular, the cuneiform, the metatarsals, and here is the sustentaculum tali, and the ligaments, the spring ligament arises from here and attaches to the navicular, and it supports the head of the talus. Now here you will have the tendoacheles, which goes into the gastrocnemius, and here you have the plantaris tendon, and here you have the posterior capsule, which has a tibiocalcaneal, a tibiotalar, and a talocalcaneal component. Then you have to understand another concept about the equinus deformity. This is the axis, the ball, the socket, this is the axis, and this is what is equinus, because the person is bearing weight on the heels. So plantar flexion of the ankle at the tibiotalar joint is equinus. Now here the structures that are contracted are tendoacheles, plantaris, and posterior capsule. But there is one more thing that is contracted which you must understand, and that is this is the head of the talus, this is the neck, and this is the body of the talus. You must understand that the anterior part of the body is much wider than the posterior part. And when the talus is in equinus, it's the posterior part of the body that is in between the ankle mortise. So ankle mortise is somewhere here. So if the ankle mortise, this narrower portion of the body remains in the ankle mortise for a long period of time, then the tibiofibular ligament gets contracted. So even after you have released all the structures, the tendoacheles, the plantaris, and the posterior capsule, this broader portion of the talus body will not come back into the ankle mortise unless and until you allow the ankle mortise to widen. And that you have to do by dividing the tibiofibular ligament. This is the tibiofibular ligament. So if you divide the tibiofibular ligament, then this broader portion of the ankle mortise and the talus would be able to dorsiflex and go into the ankle. So release tendoacheles, release plantaris, divide posterior capsule, the tibiocalcaneal portion and not the tibiotalar or the talocalcaneal portion, and then divide the tibiofibular ligament if required, so that you can achieve correction of equinus. Now one very important thing is that if it is in a mature foot, then if this is the axis of the leg and you cut the lower surface of the talus perpendicular to this axis, and supposing this is the plane of the sole and you cut the upper surface of the calcaneum parallel to the sole. Then with the talus, if you close this wedge, the foot will become plantigrade. This anterior based wedge removal from the subtaloid joint is done to correct equinus and is a part of Lambrinodes triple arthrodesis. Now we deal with inversion. So this is the fibula. Here you have the tibia. Here you have the talus. And here you have the calcaneum. And this is called as inversion. Now we'll place the ligaments here, and the ligaments are tibio-talar, tibio-calcaneal and interosseous talocalcaneal. Interosseous talocalcaneal. The tibio-talar, tibio-calcaneal, tibio-talar and interosseous talocalcaneal. Then there is the deep fascia, which attaches to the medial malleolus and then goes and attaches to the calcaneum. This extension of deep fascia is called as the flexor retinaculum. So the space between the flexor retinaculum, the medial collateral tibiocalcaneal ligament and the medial surface of calcaneum is called as porta pedis. And the structures that pass through the porta pedis can be remembered by the doctors are not here. So the doctors are tibialis posterior, the is tibialis posterior, doctors are flexor digitorum longus, are not artery and nerve are posterior tibial artery and nerve, and you have flexor hallucis longus, FHL, in the last. So then we place the skin and the subcutaneous tissue here, and then we start placing these tendons. So this is tibialis posterior, then the flexor digitorum longus, and then the flexor hallucis longus, and in between we place the artery and the nerve. The nerve we place a little bit more like this. Okay, this is the nerve. Very important that the posterior calcaneal branches of the posterior tibial nerve go and supply the skin. Therefore, you never divide the flexor retinaculum. Always divide it near the tibia. You always divide it near the tibia so that you don't divide these nerves and cause heel anesthesia in children. You divide it here. So what do you divide? You divide skin and subcutaneous tissue, establish hemostasis, apply side guards. Then you divide the flexor retinaculum near the tibial malleolus. Then you, about the TP, tibialis posterior, you lengthen, resect or transfer. The FHL and FDL, flexor hallucis longus, digitorum longus, you release or you resect. Artery and nerve, you save. About saving the artery, they ask you that the artery is not pulsating because you are doing the operation under tourniquet. So, if this is the artery, it's not pulsating, how would you recognize it? You would recognize it because there would be veni conniventis running on the side of this artery. And these veni conniventis give you what is called as a rail track effect. So that's how you recognize the artery. Then you go and divide the tibiocalcaneal ligament. And then you divide the medial half of interosseous medial half interosseous talocalcaneal ligament. That means this one. So these are the structures that you release, do a soft tissue release to correct inversion. Now you can do an osteotomy of the calcaneum and open the wedge medially so that the heel comes into eversion. So this is called as medial open wedge calcaneal osteotomy, MOCO, medial open wedge calcaneal osteotomy. And this operation is called as Dwyer's operation, and it is done from 2 to 4 years of age. So this is what you do to correct inversion. Now we start talking of forefoot adduction. And when we start talking of forefoot adduction, this is the sustentaculum tali and this is the calcaneum. And this is the cuboid. Here is the navicular. Here is the head of the talus seen between the sustentaculum tali and navicular. Here is a ligament which supports this head, which is called as the spring ligament, which the spring ligament would go medially and not support the head if the forefoot goes into adduction. Here will be the cuneiforms and these will be the metatarsals. And all these have gone medially. So now, here is the medial calcaneal tuberosity and it attaches 3 muscles. The abductor hallucis, the abductor digiti minimi and flexor digitorum brevis. It also attaches the plantar aponeurosis. So all these 4 structures, the abductor hallucis, the abductor digiti minimi, the plantar aponeurosis and flexor digitorum brevis are erased from the medial calcaneal tuberosity, and this operation is called as Stendler's operation. Then, besides this, you divide the attachment of the tibialis posterior to the navicular, the talonavicular capsule, and the medial part of the spring ligament. So you divide tibialis posterior, talonavicular capsule, and the medial part of the spring ligament maybe. That is plus minus. To correct this, to make the forefoot go laterally. Then if you have to do a bony correction, then if this is the axis of the forefoot, and this is the axis of the hind foot, then you divide the posterior part of navicular and cuboid perpendicular to the axis of the forefoot, and anterior part of calcaneum perpendicular to the axis of the hind foot, so that when you close, both axes will come parallel and forefoot adduction will be corrected. The third thing you can do, you can fuse the calcaneo-cuboid joint so that the lateral side would stop growing, the medial side will continue to grow, and therefore this forefoot adduction would be corrected. So this is the dealing with forefoot adduction and cavus deformity, surgical correction of forefoot adduction and cavus deformity. And lastly, we tell you how in triple arthrodesis we correct the three deformities. This is the talus, the calcaneum, the navicular, the cuneiform, the metatarsals. This is perpendicular, we are correcting equinus, perpendicular. This is leg axis, perpendicular, we divide the lower surface of talus. The calcaneum upper surface is divided parallel to the sole, so that with the talus in complete plantar flexion, the foot becomes plantigrade. These two surfaces would come together. Then for inversion, this is the tibia, this is the fibula, this is the talus, and our calcaneum has gone inside. So the calcaneum upper surface divided like this, perpendicular to the axis of the calcaneum, and talus lower surface divided like this, perpendicular to the axis of the leg. When you close, the inversion would be corrected. Now forefoot adduction. Again we draw the calcaneum, put cuboid here, put navicular in the head of the talus, put the three cuneiforms and the metatarsals like this. This is the axis of the forefoot, and we divide the posterior surface of navicular and cuboid perpendicular to this axis like this, and the calcaneum anterior surface we divide like this, and when we close, this would come parallel to the hind foot. Forefoot would come parallel to the hind foot. So these are the principles of triple arthrodesis. The pathoanatomy of the CTV and how you can correct it surgically. Thank you.